Got a Thinkcar scan tool to do a review on. Blah, 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 blah. I got a Thinkcar scan tool, the 689 BT. We're going to do a review video on. If you want to learn more about this scan tool, if you're thinking of getting one for yourself, stay tuned. Let's get into it. Alright guys, this scan tool, I see a lot of these things online. A lot of guys are using them with good success in the shop. They contacted me and said, hey, you want to do a review on our scan tool? We see you like scan tools. I said, sure. I like to do a lot of scan tools for you guys, try them all out, figure out if any of them have glitches or problems, figure out their strengths and weaknesses, and do a full review on them for you and use them in the shop so you know how they work in the real world. Whether you're a DIYer or a professional mechanic like I am, I've been doing this well over 40 years if you're new. You know, there's a lot of things that you can do to spend your money wisely. The tool truck scan tools are a thing of the past. There's no need to spend $10,000 or $12,000 for a scan tool. This one, under $1,000. We'll put a link in the description below. If at the end of the video you're interested, you'll be able to check it out at a discount. It also supports the channel and I appreciate that. First thing we're going to do is get this thing out of the box. Let's get it all set up. Then we're going to put it to use in the shop. Let's do that. Alright, 689 BT unboxing. I've already taken the liberty of cutting the seal. I did not pull it out of the package yet though. Comes in a nice hard case. Some of them come in canvas bags and things like that. I do not like that. I like a case that you can actually use if you're a mobile mechanic, if you do work at home sometimes on the weekends. I like a case that you can actually carry it in and know that it's going to be safe and secure. Oh cool, I was worried it might be a little small. This is a nice size. Got a decent amount of heft to it. I really like the fact that the OBD dongle, which is what I call them, I'm not sure if you guys have a different name for it, that's what I call them. Magnet. That is cool. First time I've seen that on any scan tool I've used. Really like it. The only concern I could see is I like to put extension cords on these so they don't get left in cars and it won't clear. But if you don't forget your dongle very often, that'll come in handy. Comes with all our necessary accessories, chargers. There's your charge plug, adapters. We'll see how those work. I believe you push this down and turn it. You can change the adapter to fit the outlet you use depending on what country you're in. We're in the US, so we're going with the US adapter. This will be the first step. Cord for the charger, and very cool, it does come with a dongle extension. Really like that. I buy them separately when they don't come with them. It's like about $9 to $12 for a decent dongle extension. Let's put this on. Very cool. You can hook it to a phone line in case you need to get in a computer with it on that kind of a system. That's cool. I like the fact that it has it already. I don't have to buy one separate. Let's get this thing set up. It's got silica. Let's open this up. Another adapter. Another thing you don't see often in these scan tools. That's another phone line to USB adapter. Here is our phone cord. I'm assuming that's going to be for some type of updates through Thinkcar. Packing list shows you can take a quick look at that, see if you might be missing anything. I have yet to find a scan tool that I reviewed that was missing something. 689 BT instructions. It's going to have a quick start guide, product overview, technical specifications, tell you what it's capable of speed wise. Go through the scan tool, shows you the control buttons, how that's going to work when you enter the scan tool. It's going to tell you about putting in your email, registering the product, hooking it up to the Wi-Fi is going to be the first thing. So let's do that, see how this thing works in the shop. I gotta say, I do like the tan, and you know what I like more than that? Kickstand. That is cool. Every scan tool should have a kickstand. If you're watching my videos and you make scan tools, put a kickstand on your scan tool, because a mechanic always has to go out under the hood, set it down on the radiator support. They want to see the screen. They're not going to set it down like that. Not to mention, the likelihood of dropping something on the screen, a tool or something, and breaking it is way higher when it's flat than it is when it's like that. Just my opinion. Some people aren't too worried about kickstands. I love them. Extensions, kickstands, but most importantly, let's see how it works in the shop after we get it set up. First, we'll turn it on. Now we register our product. We're choosing English. There'll be little footnotes as you go through the process at the top of the screen to kind of help you along. If you're new to the scan tool game and this is going to be your first scanner, this will be a very good scanner for someone. I would say it's a good mid-level scanner. So far I'm pretty impressed with what I see as far as the feel, fit, and finish, the design, the magnetic dongle. A lot of those little things make a big difference to me, because it's hard to stand out in an industry where there are literally 100 brands that make scan tools. So let's get this setup complete, and we'll go through and show you any key points in getting that done. Now if you push the startup screen enter, it's going to try to connect to the dongle, but it's not in the car yet. We have to register it on the Wi-Fi and all that. If you hit cancel, you get the sound that you left the dongle in the car. Tell it okay. Cool grease monkey. So we're going to find our setup probably in this toolbar at the top of the tool. This little box brings up your menu. You can pick what you need to do to get your Wi-Fi and things hooked up. We started off in diagnosis, which is where I hit the enter button. So we want to go more. Now we're in settings. We want to enter settings. Now we can enter our Wi-Fi, check to make sure we have the latest software. Once we get the Wi-Fi hooked up, register the product to us. Off we go. Got our Wi-Fi in, put our email in. Software update was 1.06. There was a new version, 1.08. We did that. I can't reach the Wi-Fi from out here in the mechanics room where I'm doing this video, so I have to go back in the shop. We're going to get this thing in a car. We're going to put it to use and show you how it performs. At the end of the video, I'll do a follow-up, tell you what I think of the tool, and give it a rating of 1 to 10 overall. I don't do different categories. Maybe at some point I will. But for now, just to give you an idea of where I see it in a 1 to 10 versus all the scan tools I've used over my career. You know, most of them 5 to 7 is pretty good. Anything higher than that is exceptional. And I do it based on what it costs versus its performance, how it does in the shop. If it's really expensive, that's a factor, and if it's really sluggish and doesn't perform well, that's another factor. But we'll see. Let's get it in the shop and figure it all out. Oh, I found it. Sneaky little guys. Let's get this plugged in. The little light shows us it's working. Turn on our scan tool, orange button on top. Automatic search. Well, that's a pretty cool screen. Don't see that every day. It's a car matrix. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. This is my first time using the tool, so it may take a second. I'm going to skip this. I want to do this. We'll try this. It's not seeing the VIN, probably because it's an older Isuzu. Isuzu. Sometimes when you tell it the brand, then it'll go ahead and load it for you. I think that narrows down the protocols it's going to use to try to talk to it. Automatically search. Currently dysfunctional sports modes since the year 2008. Enter the test via the menu of the year model. Okay, so we're going to go like this. Back from the select year. This is a 2001. It is a Trooper. Let me make sure there's no other options. Yep, that's it. Trooper Bighorn. I'm going to go on my ABS. This is a very unusual software layout for me. It's not something you see very often. P002B, right front isolation valve circuit, which is in the ABS unit. Details. Description. Manufacturer defined. You can try to obtain more reasons and repair suggestions from Google. It's funny how more reasons has no space. It should be more space reasons. Let's do a Google search. Don't prompt again. Swipe to return to the previous page. Accept and continue. We're going to look online with the tool and see what we can find. Help with ABS issue. Checking Isuzu ABS trouble codes for free. You can also jump out 2 pins in that connector and it'll blink the codes for you. But I don't think it's going to blink this one. This is going to give us another option. Help with ABS search. Help with ABS issue. Let's get an idea of what Fix Ya is going to say. They always want you to pay, which I make videos without charging people. I'm not sure why they have to charge. Answer. There's a lot of information. Basically, you're searching online, just like if you use a cell phone or any other tablet or computer. That's what this basically is, a tablet using a Thinkcar software. So it's going to let you look around online, and if there's a lot of information online about your problem, it's going to show you. If there isn't, it's not going to show you. So this is talking about O2 sensors and things that have nothing to do with that ABS isolation valve. We'll see if this will swipe. Oh, you can change my volume. I can change the screen brightness. I'm going to do that. Let's see if it does anything. I can swipe left. There you go. That's pretty cool. Details. I really want to see. I'm going to send a report to them up front too. You can use this little button to send a report. You guys, if you watch a lot of my videos, you know how much I like that. I'll send them a report on this. If this was a code that was a little more familiar, or the vehicle is probably a little newer, this is almost 25 years old. So these would be a lot more helpful on a different vehicle, and we'll try it on other vehicles as well too, of course. Okay, real quick, I used the tool to send a report. This is what the page looks like. Goes down, shows you it's pre-scanned before repairs, shows you how many codes are in that module. This is the ECM one. So I couldn't find a way that I could do all of the codes at one time, but I'm sure there is a way. I'm just going to figure it out, and I'll show you that too. I'm taking this for a little drive to see what we get for ABS data. We can also do here is put it in graphing mode. I love me some graphing mode. We can combine them. There'll be different colors: blue, orange, purple, and yellow. I'm going to go over 6 miles an hour again and try to get us some graphing data. Oop. And we're going to take a look at this ABS, probably with it up on the lift. Alright, well, I can see one problem. I've got speed from both rear wheels and nothing from both front. That's because the four-wheel drive isn't working, and that's probably why that light is on. It should be working all 4 wheels right now. The only thing I can change is whether it's in 4 high or 4 low. I like how you can do that. You can, if you want to take it out of graph, you can push graph again. You can go back, or you can just do this. Well, it goes back to the previous page. Let's clear the code right now. Now it said, oh, you see that? It said clear fault code completed. As soon as I looked up at the screen, I'm not sure if you guys would see that on camera or not. Data. We got to look at codes, make sure those are cleared out. My desired and actual fuel pressure would be good, but it would not bring the fuel trim correct. It would be lean. So we'll use the Thinkcar scan tool on this. 689 BT. 16-pin DLC. Automatically search. USA. Please select item first. There you go. I probably should take this film off on this one. It doesn't seem to like that. We're going to do a health report. Might as well look at all the modules, see what codes we have in all of them. Good scanner will always have the capability to check all the modules. That way you can see all the codes in all the modules, clear all the codes if you want. You can send your report from there and show codes in every module at the time you do the repair. Super handy. It's going through them pretty quick. When we start this up, it might run a little rough, or almost definitely, because the injectors have air now and that whole fuel rail is empty. So the scanner will be on, and we can clear misfire codes if we have any, and we can clear that fuel pressure code that we had as well. We'll take a look at that before we clear it and show you what it was as a reminder. Alright, that was our code P2191, system to lean at higher load. We're going to clear that DTC, then I'm going to go in the module, and we're going to look at the fuel pressure data and run it, and make sure the fuel trim stays good while the fuel pressure data is good and everything's happy. That way we don't send the customer down the road with a problem still. Data stream. Tool's pretty fast so far. That's pretty good. Glad to see that. We can go in here and go fuel. Fuel adaptation. Fuel rail pressure set point. Fuel rail pressure. Let's fire this thing up and see what happens with fuel trims under part acceleration. All right, codes are cleared, data's up. We can see here our fuel pressure rises like it's supposed to. Our fuel trim stays good. It might not be quite hot enough. We're gonna let it run a few more minutes and check this, see what it does. We'll take it for a drive and verify on the road that the fuel trim's doing what it's supposed to do and that she's not gonna get that code back. And as long as all those things happen, this one will be done. Such a pleasantly annoying key chime. This kickstand, I like that it's kind of stiff, so you can actually set this 689 BT scan tool up here on the wheel and it stays. I like that. Are they saying something about grease monkeys there? I don't get it. I don't remember posing for that picture. Enter. Let's bring up some data, see what's going on. Fuel system stuff, fuel system world. So far this has been a pretty good scan tool. I've tried, I mean, just in the past 2 years I've probably done reviews on 8 different scan tools, and honestly all of them have been really good. Every scan tool has worked well. I have my favorites. So far this thing's cool. It does a couple things a little bit different, but I like the way that it takes you through a lot of the similar tests that you're familiar with, and a lot of the times it adds things like module programming. Not a lot of scan tools will show you that. They always have special functions. You can do a health report like you can with a lot of other scan tools too, where it goes through all the modules. It's going to show me low tire pressure. I could even look in the data here and see exactly what the tire pressure is. It's going to be in my BCM, I believe. And then we're going to look in the check engine computer, or the engine control module at ECM, for codes that haven't put the check engine light on yet. That's what I'm trying to say. Words are hard. Steering angle sensor, wiper park, cruise control. That's it. Those are my codes. Nothing to do with fuel related, fuel system stuff. And then I'm going to look for a fuel smell under the hood really well. Try to see if I can figure out what he smelled, and we'll air up the tires. Let's see if we can find some tire pressure data though. See if we can find tire pressure. Ford does things their own way. I can't say I blame them. Let's go into the BCM. This little arrow on the side will let you in that module, give you some more options. Data stream, hopefully it's in the BCM. Left front tire pressure, left rear inner, left rear outer. So we have to go to R for right, I'm guessing. I'm feeling pretty smart right there. Right rear outer. See if we see tire pressure on 4 tires. Look at that. I think these take 50 in the front and 80 in the back or something. Let's check. There's a door sticker. 49 in the front, 71 in the back. That's why you check the door sticker. So they're all about 8 or 10 pounds low. Let's put some air in the tires and look for 2012 Toyota Tacoma, 257,599 miles. Customer's saying that it's stalled. So let's hook up this Thinkcar scan tool and see what we can see for codes and diagnose this car. Keys on, enter, get these two talking, and we'll see what we can find out. Get some of that glare off of there. 16 pin Tacoma. Okay. Health report will scan all the modules in the vehicle. I apologize if that screen's not really easy to see. I'm gonna have to change the brightness, which I think I can do like this. We can do that. That might be a little better. Engine stall history, startability malfunction, rough idling, startability, rough idling, low or high power supply voltage, cannot receive data bus. So it's got a stall history current. We will bring up some data related to idle control and see how that all looks. It's got an history and current, so that means it happened recently. He said it happened once. I'm going to start it up. Let's bring up some data and take a look. All right, we got accelerator idle position, so the computer knows you're idling and you're not touching the gas. Accelerator position 0%. Closed throttle, it knows you're idling and it's on. If you touch the gas, that should go to off, and it does. Engine speed, ISC flow, ISC learning value, ISC position 5 degrees. I'm not seeing anything really to be concerned about at this point. It does idle slightly rough. It's got 258,000 miles on it. Maybe a carbon service, throttle body cleaning kind of thing. It's the only thing I could see. And I wanted to use the scan tool to show you some of this. It's things like data parameters. You can open up more if you want to graph, combine. You can select what ones you want to have on there as well. So here's my engine speed, accelerator position, all that kind of thing. You can make sure they're all staying in line and everything's happy, which it all seems to be right now. I want to show you this. There's two different functions from this little tab on the side. If you pull it this way, it'll change your data. Go into graph mode. Now, if you pull it, it changes your data back to the previous screen, but if you tap it, it'll give you choices on which one you're going to display in your... So what we want to do is take these away. I'm going to put these up, and we're going to take a look at that. Combine them if you like. Don't combine them if you don't like. So this is my ISC flow, my closed throttle position switch, my engine speed, and my ISC position, idle speed control. So that's all working correctly, but I'm not sure if that screen is going to be great visibility. We might have to do some filming with this tool when it's a little dimmer out. Right now it's glaring the screen too much. The 689 BT is proven very capable so far, like a lot of scan tools I've used lately. A lot of these features are mandatory for a professional and super helpful for a DIY as well. So you don't buy parts you don't need, but you do have to know what you're looking for in these data parameters. You can look it up online, sort out some of these issues online. A lot of times the scan tool, when something's way out of parameter, it'll turn it red for you, and that'll help too. I just don't have one to show you that right now, but we'll come across a car that'll do it. I'm going to end my diagnostic test session. Oh, it gives you that quaint little don't forget your dongle. Let's get the Thinkcar 689 BT hooked up, lit up, enter. I still think that's a really cool screen, FYI. Coolest startup screen of all the scanners I have, because I am a huge Matrix fan. So that's pretty cool. That's code. I like it. I think everyone should use that one. Neutral. I've turned the key on and off about 2 times so far. We should have some fuel in the rail now. But first I'm going to bring up the data before we even get started. I'm going to also see what kind of codes might be left in there and clear any codes we might have. So if we do get trouble codes during the preliminary run-in and the road test, I know there'll be new codes. Read fault codes, memory codes, key on engine off, key on engine running, and memory are all separate. It does have quite a few codes. You guys might have seen if you saw yesterday's video. Got a lot of codes completed. Now it'll recheck for codes. I believe I might have to tell it to do it. Yep, there's a new code, P1000, which means someone cleared the codes and the monitors haven't been run. So we're good there. Let's bring up some data. It was in like 12-13% fuel correction. If I hit the gas, it'd go up into negative. So we knew we had a vacuum leak. I verified it with some brake clean. Engine load's a good indicator of mass airflow performance. If you have an engine load data pit up and you do accelerate pretty heavily going down the road, basically wide open throttle momentarily, you should at least see 85 to 90% engine load. If you do, then you know you got good airflow through the engine, because it's basically using mass airflow data to calculate that engine speed versus mass airflow. Short fuel trim, long fuel trim. L comes up first, S is second. Now we know our alphabet. A little clutch. This is a manual. Now it's not going to correct fuel trim while the engine's cold, so I'll let it run a few minutes and we'll see what starts happening with all that. Let's put it in graph. There's my fuel trim. It's actually pulling fuel away, probably based on the memory from yesterday. So what'll happen is if the short-term trims stay negative too long, this means it has too much fuel. It's minus means it's withdrawing fuel from the system. What'll happen is if it stays high, then the long term will ramp up, try to get the short term closer to 0. Basically single digits are okay. So little by little it's going to make corrections, and you'll see the long term start changing, trying to keep that short term in a tighter window. Quite interesting. It's correcting again on bank 2. See that big dip? If we combine, the screen will be larger, but you have to really pay attention to colors. Some of them will overlap, because long term is blue and orange will be overlapped because they're both at 0. They're also down on the bottom. We'll let this thing sort itself out. Another thing I like about this Thinkcar scan tool so far is how it has the data PIDs up top while you're looking at a graph as well. So you have this here, it shows you the most negative it's been and the most positive, most negative, the most positive. All four show you basically like a voltmeter, min max. That's what the bottom screen is, and the top of the screen is what you'd see if you were just looking at regular data PIDs, and the graph as well, all on one screen. That's awesome. Now we got some short-term reaction trying to correct the long term's trying to correct the short term. Everything's looking really good. We got our vacuum leaks fixed. Look at how nice that picture looks. If you forget your dongle, you're probably not gonna have a good day. Well, let's see if the old Thinkcar likes a 2007 Dodge Ram. '2007 Dodge Ram. Look at that thing. These are really bad. 443 is an evap code. I forget exactly which one it is, what it's for, but these are bad for the rubber hoses on the purge valve, dry rotting and splitting and stuff. But we're gonna see what the code is for sure, and then we'll tackle that. PO 443 evap purge 1 control circuit. That means it's not happy with the wiring to the purge valve. It's not saying when it turns the purge valve on, it can actually monitor if it's sending out a 5 volt or an 8 volt power to the purge valve. When it activates it on the ground side, it'll see the surge on the power side. If it doesn't like what it sees, it sets a code like this. So it's not happy about a control circuit. Could be unplugged, something like that, if someone worked on it recently. So I'll send them a report on all these. We'll jump in there and take a look. Another thing I really like about this scan tool, when you get a code, not every vehicle will have this information, but some do, some don't. When you click on details, it'll try to help you figure out why you have that code. Evaporative emission system canister purge volume control solenoid uses on-off duty cycle. The canister volume control solenoid valves moved on and off with pulses. The longer the on pulse, the greater the on time. Faulty purge solenoid control emissions purge solenoid harness. Shorted or open purge control solenoid poor electrical connection. Check possible causes above. Visually inspect related wiring harness and connectors. Check for damaged components. Look for broken, bent, pushed out, or corroded connector pins. If it's not something obvious like unplugged when someone worked on it, then we'll have to get a meter out of some kind and check for powers and grounds to see what's going on with all that. Let's go ahead and get this hooked up. We're gonna probably, I'm guessing with the rebuilt title and all the lights on, it's gonna probably have 30 or 40 codes or something like that. Some of them might be voltage related. Sometimes with the wheel being upside down and the steering angle sensor not relearned, it could just disable power steering, who knows for sure. It starts at an hour for diagnosis. They charge you for the first hour, up to the first hour. If it goes over that, then we charge accordingly. No professional mechanic worth their salt is going to spend 3 or 4 hours trying to figure something out and get paid for 1 hour. It's just how it works. So if you have an unusual problem and things have been how can you say, done, you're just going to be starting from scratch trying to sort out everything that's happened in this poor car's life. This is going to take a minute. When a car has a lot of modules, like some luxury cars like Infinitis and Cadillacs, Lincolns, BMW, Mercedes, they have so many modules that even a good scan tool that's pretty quick is still going to take 2 or 3 minutes. And I'm not going to sit here babbling saying dumb stuff for that long. I have no problem doing it for 30 seconds. Alright guys, final thoughts on the Thinkcar 689 BT. Impressive little scanner. I really like the way it's laid out, the feel, the kickstand, the coloring. I'm all about the orange and tan, but it's actually been a great little tool. I'm going to try it a lot more. You'll see it in my day in the shop videos pretty regularly for a while. We'll play with it a bit and see what else it can do, what I might have missed. I wanted to get this video out so you guys can see. I've had a lot of good luck with these scanners I've been trying. I mentioned that before. I mean, honestly, there's so many good options. It's hard to say. It's mostly about your budget. And if you have a specific task you want to make sure a tool will do, that you do quite often, then make sure from the scanners I've done reviews on that it suits your purpose. But the majority of these scanners I've done, especially the 689 BT, very capable tool. It's going to do 99% of what you need in the shop. Programming's a different story. This is for diagnosis, clearing and checking codes and all those kinds of things. Resetting steering calibration, a lot of other things like that. It can take functions from, if you change a rack and pinion, it can download the old module information and upload it into the new module. A lot of very good functions in the scan tool in its price range. It's over the $500 mark, so it's a little pricier than some of the scanners I've looked at, but I still think it's a good value because it's so well made. Feels pretty rugged. If you drop it, it's not going to be the end of the world, although try and avoid that. I do like the magnetic, if you have to travel with it. I really thought that was pretty cool. I have no other scanner that does that. Where's it go? Oh, there you go. You can put that on the back of the scanner. You're not going to get it lost. When I put them in cars, though, I always like to use the extension. Pretty happy that it came with that. Check the link in the description if you're interested in getting one of these for yourself. If you want something that's a little on the higher end of a DIY and about mid-grade for a professional mechanic, I think this will suit your purpose just fine. It's going to really do a lot for most people. From 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 7.5. Probably in my top 3 of all the scanners I've done videos on, so that says a lot. I think it's a great tool. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe on your way out and torque the like button if you haven't yet. Hope I see you in another one, because you're awesome.